What is the maximum amount of factories you can make in Hearts of Iron 4? That is the question we will be answering today. As anybody who knows this game, or plays this game, I think a vast majority of us play it to see big number get bigger. And I am no different. So really what we're going to be doing today is kind of going through some of the statistics of how to figure out that number and essentially figure that out. Now this run through is a game I did play on Iron Man, and as you can tell by the top right, it's been going for a long time at this point. Conquered the world by about 49, 50, and basically we're just gonna annex all of the Reich's commissariats back into the German Reich, and then try to build everything physically possible. And now in Hearts of Iron 4, in each little region, you can either build factories or synthetic refineries or things like that. But what people might not know is the different types of regions and why in certain areas you can randomly only build 2 things, and in some you can build a full 25. Now these are called state categories, and there are 9 types in the game, starting with the smallest, but you can only build 0 things, and at the top building 12. Now these go in ascending order of wastelands or tiny little islands, so you know your Sahara deserts or your Pitcairn Island, and then pastoral regions, rural regions, developed rural regions, sparse urban regions, dense urban regions, metropolises, and at the very top you have megalopolis, which I think there is a very small amount in the game. One of them being the German capital after reforming the Greater Germanic Reich. And this number can be further affected by researching certain technologies and taking certain decisions. First of all, the regular industry research, which gives you a flat 20% extra factories, which can be stacked 5 times by going through either dispersed or concentrated industry. And a further building slot can be achieved by once a state has reached maximum infrastructure, which you can see here. I've got maximum infrastructure in basically every state in the game. You can get a further building slot for 100 political power in the decisions tab. That makes it sound like the maximum number of factories would be an easy number to guess, but unfortunately this number can be moved around by basically every focus tree in the game, where building slots are added. But unfortunately, with the AI, it's very, very unpredictable, and certain things you can't figure out what's going to happen, like the Yugoslavians deciding to have a go after deciding not existing for the past 10 years. But that just kind of proves the point. And it's very difficult to figure out what the AI is going to do, so you can't ever really figure out the exact number, but we're going to do our best to try and get as close as possible. With the earlier mentioned, with the decision in the decisions tab for 100 political power, that can only be taken once per state in the game. Now as it stands, over the most recent update, there is 1046 states in the game, which means we can add 1046 building slots and therefore 1046 factories to the final count, which, as we'll see later, gets the number really, really, really close to 10,000, but I don't think we can quite get there. One of the other things I want to sort of talk about while we're looking at the maximum amount of factories is other little trivial things that happens once you get to this level in Hearts of Iron 4. So once you start getting into the 50s and 60s, the numbers just kind of start getting insane. And a lot of strange stuff starts happening. As you'll see in the footage later, there's randomly still 3 UK divisions in Spain, where we can only assume it's the holdouts in Benidorm who decided they couldn't be asked to go home at this point. Yeah, as you can see on the screen now, collecting all the fleets together after conquering the world gives you an insane amount of ships, and after we annex in all the Reich's commissariats back in, we'll have even more. As you see here, still need to defeat Iceland to get it back together. But I got some examples of some of the strange stuff going on there. Is Iceland at this point had zero manpower, but they also had no army because for some reason they put all of their manpower into building planes. So their entire country was just an air force, and that was it. Very strange. But yeah, we will come back and return after the Rex Commissariats have been annexed back into the territory, and then we'll talk a bit more about the numbers. One of the fun things I also like to do when this late in the game is take out the supersonic jets as part of the project a couple of updates ago and just absolutely ram them with cannon twos. Because you get to the point when the air attack on them it's so high. I mean, those poor Icelanders. I mean, you can imagine them just looking up into the sky and basically seeing a fleet of A-10 warthogs descending upon them. That wouldn't be a pretty sight. But yeah, this one here, 120 air attack, 30 odd air defense. It's just kind of ridiculous. I imagine much more fun in multiplayer. Sadly, I actually don't play enough multiplayer. It's kind of just there for the numbers, but yeah, it's still a good time. Alright, here we are in 1971, and we are here with the final numbers. As you can see at the top of the screen, final factory count is 8,234. Now we can add to this the previously mentioned 1,046 factories, taking us up to a final count of 9,280. As you can see there we have 175,000 convoys, 3,000 ships, and another little funny thing, which I thought would be funny to put into context of the ridiculousness of these endgame scenarios, is by this point, if we go into our equipment tag, we can see that we've amassed up to 730,000 planes. And the fun thing about this, by itself, might not seem, well, nearly a million planes is insane on its own, but in hoi4, planes have an air power requirement in terms of manpower. And if we were to put that manpower requirement into context, the amount of manpower required to field that many aeroplanes would be 15 million. 15 million people, so which is equivalent to double the population of Libya. So I mean, there you go. So yeah, thanks everybody for sort of, I mean, if anybody actually managed to watch through 9 minutes of this shit, thank you for being here. I will do my best to put some more of these out. But overall, just thank you for watching. If you kept on going all the way through this, and yeah, stay safe. Make sure to be kind to everybody around you, and yeah, see you later.